So please love me do. Whoa, love me do. Hi everybody, welcome to my latest YouTube video. I hope you're all well on this Sunday morning. Here in the UK it's quite dull, looks like we're going to have showers. Now for this video I'm going to show you the rest of the Beatles records that I got from my recent trip to Nottingham, which was not the Friday just gone, but the Friday before, so about a week and a half ago. But before that, just a quick shout out to a couple of channels that have been supporting me in the past few weeks in my little channel. So a big shout out to Beatletone's Beatles channel. If you're into Beatles, please check out his channel. It's amazing some of the things he's got to show you and some of the stories he's got. And he's also got a competition on at the minute, so if you fancy a chance of winning a couple of Paul McCartney records, check that one out. And if you like it, when you see it, please subscribe, because he's trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers. Also thank you to Beatleman69. Again, he's based in the good old US of A. He's got some absolutely amazing Beatles records as well, so check that one out. Also Rachel's Ghost. This is quite a new channel to me. I've only been subscribed to him for, I think it's just over a month now. He doesn't just do Beatles stuff, he does vinyl in general as well, so check that one out. He's got some really good stuff on his channel. And anybody else that I forgot to mention, thank you very much for your support over the past year. So like today, like I said, we're going to be looking at the rest of the Beatles records that I got in my local trip to Nottingham last Friday, a week ago on Friday. Friday just gone, I mean. And then the remainder of the records I'm going to do probably next week as a record haul video. So records you've already seen won't be on that. All these records were from Rob's Record Mart, which is in Hert's Yard in Nottingham. So if you're ever in Nottingham, please go and check Rob out. He's a brilliant bloke. He's very knowledgeable, and he doesn't mind having a chat or anything like that to you. There's no actual pressure for you to buy anything when you go in his shop. You will though. I can guarantee you will buy things. It's amazing the stuff he's got in there. Unfortunately, I don't think Rob's got a website. So if you're ever in Nottingham, just go and check him out. So Beatle Dave sent you. So we're going to start off with the early years, the Beatles featuring Tony Sheridan. Now, yeah, I've got a few copies of this now, but I think I only paid £5 for this. And for those of you that don't know, this is basically the Beatles backing Tony Sheridan, who was quite a big star in the late 1950s, early 1960s. If you don't know the track list now, just quickly go through the track list. And it's Ain't She Sweet, that's the Beatles, and that's the vocal with John Lennon, which is the only vocal by a Beatle on this, or lead vocal by any of the Beatles on this album. And it's a good rock and roll rendition. Oh, ain't she sweet, see walking down the street, well, I ask you very confidentially, ain't she sweet? Now, years later, John said he didn't like this version, and they did try and re-record a version of it for the Get Back sessions, more of like a bluesy sort of song, but I think this version on here is cracking. Then you get Cry for Shadow, which is the only George Harrison and John Lennon composition that I actually know of. And again, it is an instrumental, and it very much sounds like the Shadows. That's why it's called Cry for Shadow. I think it was going to be called Beatle Bop at one point as well. Then you've got Let's Dance, that's Tony Sheridan and the Beat Brothers. Now, the Beat Brothers is basically anybody that was backing Tony Sheridan at the time. So it could actually be the Beatles, but if they're not 100% sure, they'll put the Beat Brothers. Sometimes they know it wasn't the Beatles, but the ones that they know the Beatles, they do put as the Beatles on here. Then you've got My Bonnie. My Bonnie lies over the ocean. That, again, is the Beatles with the lead vocal by Tony Sheridan. And of course, that was the first single the Beatles technically made, wasn't it? Although in the original copies in Germany, it was classed as Tony Sheridan and the Beat Brothers. This is what I'm saying. The Beat Brothers were just a name for anybody. Bit like John Lennon, Plastic Ono Band. It was Plastic Ono Band was anybody that was like backing him, wasn't it, at the time? Take Some Out Insurance on Me Baby, the Beatles with vocal by Tony Sheridan. What'd I say? Tony Sheridan and Beat Brothers. Right, side 2, Sweet Georgia Brown, that's the Beatles with Tony Sheridan. The Saints, the Beatles with Tony Sheridan. Ruby Baby, that's Tony Sheridan and the Beat Brothers. Why Can't You Love Me Again, that's the Beatles with Tony Sheridan. Nobody's Child, that's the Beatles with Tony Sheridan. And the interesting thing about Nobody's Child is that years later, George, when he was with the Travelling Wilburys, did a version of that for a charity, didn't he? Some sort of, was it Want Children Need, was it War Child or something? And then it finished off with Yeah Yeah, which is Tony Sheridan and the Beat Brothers. So that's the track listing. Now this is on Contour, and it's 2870111. But it's also Musical Revenues Limited. And the cover and everything is really, really nice. Now I've been looking on other YouTube videos, as you do when you're a YouTuber yourself. I've seen this on other people's videos, and apparently, now I'm going on what other people have said, because this has got red writing around the perimeter of the label, this is supposed to be a UK export copy. Don't know if it is, and like I say, for what I paid for it doesn't really matter. This LP is actually in mint condition. It looks like it's never ever been played. Even the cover looks absolutely, you know, tip top. I'd say at least excellent, maybe excellent plus for the cover. So although I've got loads of copies of this, and this is the most recent one I've got, having it for like 10 days, I would say this is the one that's in the best condition. Out of all of them, I think this is virtually mint condition. Really do. You can get this as a double album as well, which I've got up there somewhere. Sometimes Beatles purists say, well, that's crap, that album, because it's not really the Beatles, it's the Beatles, a backing band, which it is. But if you want to know how the Beatles sounded before they made it big in 1962, 1963 sort of thing, you've got to listen to these, because you can actually see how they progressed. Yes, on a few of them, you know, the majority of the tracks, they are the backing band, but to be honest, no disrespect to Tony Sheridan, but they outshine him on most of the tracks that they've on. It was recorded in Hamburg in 1961. And I think it was recorded like with mobile studio equipment, and was recorded in either a school or a village hall. And it was originally released on Polydor. So if you get this on Polydor, you've got, you know, quite a rare album. But yeah, all in all, love it. The next one is The Beatles Greatest. Yes, and I've got a copy of this as well. I think I paid £8 for this one, and again, this is in really, really nice condition. The cover, there's no writing or anything on it. I think this is the German one. Yeah, printed in Germany, because there's a German version and there's one from Sweden or Holland or something, isn't they? So it is like what it says, it's the Beatles' greatest hits, basically. So you got I Want to Hold Your Hand, Twist and Shout, A Hard Day's Night, 8 Days a Week, I Should Have Known Better, Long Tall Sally, She Loves You, Please Mr. Postman. Side 2, I Feel Fine, which has got the reverb on it, so it's like the American single version. Rock and Roll Music, Ticket to Ride, Please Please Me, It Won't Be Long, For Me to You, Can't Buy My Love, and All My Lovin'. All My Lovin' has the, is it the 5 hi-hat tapping, the bit go t t t t. Close your eyes and I'll kiss you tomorrow, I miss you, remember. Good album. I think this is a slightly later version. I think this is from around 1969. It's on the blue EMI Odeon label. And again, it is in really, really nice condition. There's no scratches, no marks whatsoever on this. Really, really nice album. Sounds as good as it looks, to be honest. Plays as good as it looks, you know. Again, I've got a few copies of this, and to be honest, that's the best one. I would say that is a high, excellent plus to mint. As mint as it can be if it's been played, if that makes sense. Great album. Highly recommend this as well. If you ever come across this on your travels, it is worth getting to add to your Beatles collection. Next we've got Revolver. Now you're probably thinking, why have you got that, Dave? You've got quite a few copies of this. Which, yeah, I have. This is from 2012, but I think this could be one of them that came out with the magazine. That one that I can never pronounce. Agosity or whatever it was called. It's got a slight crease there, and it has got, which I didn't realise at first, just a little rip there. Look, go like that, you can see it, but if I go like that, you can't really tell, can you? Well, you can, because I've just showed it you. So it's 180 gram vinyl, PCS 7009, although it's got a completely different number on the label, hasn't it? Because it's pressed in the EU now, isn't it? But it's very, very faithful to the 1970s sort of like versions of this. And I think that cover is one of the best covers ever, isn't it? I did pay £15 for this, to be honest, but again, looking at it, although it's got a lip there, I don't know if that's where it had been attached to the magazine or what, which it could have been, but looking at it, it doesn't look like this has ever been played. And it does actually say on the dead wax, it says MPO, and then it says Revolver A for side 1. That's all it says on it. MPO's the pressing plant, isn't it? I think is it in, I can't remember where it is now. I know it's somewhere in Europe, isn't it? And then for side 2, it's got MPO Revolver B. So like I say, the actual number on this isn't that PCS at all. It's 0094638241713. You really got to remember that if you're going into shop. Oh, have you got PC? What, you know, have you got PC 7009, or have you got that one PC? You know, that number there. Yeah, it does just say made in the EU. And the other thing that gives it away is it's not Northern Songs, is it? It's Sony ATV music. So that's side 1. That's side 2. Lovely labels, though. As I've said before in one of my other videos, when these were re-released on vinyl in 2012, there was a lot of criticism at the time. I didn't bother buying any of them because a lot of people just says, well, they're not really records. They're really records made from CDs. They're copied from the CD, not from the original LP masters. Which there might be, I don't know, but to me they sound okay. So it's like having CD sound on a vinyl record, isn't it? But I don't think they do sound like CDs to me. This just sounds like a late 1980s, early 1990s pressing. So yeah, £15 paid for that, so don't think that was that bad. The last of the LPs is Beatles at the Hollywood Bowl. Again, I've got loads of copies of this. I think this should have been, and I say should have been, £8, but I think I got it for nothing in the end because I spent a lot of money with Bob. So I think he gave me this for nothing, and the singles that we're going to look at in a minute, I think I got them for nothing as well. So this was originally released in 1977, EMTV4. So it was advertised on telly, wasn't it, basically? And although it says live at the Hollywood Bowl, it's actually 2 separate recordings, one from 1964 and one from 1965, edited together. But it is edited together quite well. Probably could be done better nowadays, but you know, in 1977 they had to use what techniques and everything they had at the time. Twist and Shout, She Is a Woman, Dizzy Miss Lizzie, Ticket to Ride, Can't Buy Me Love, Things We Said Today, Roll Over Beethoven. That's side 1. Side 2, Boys, A Hard Day's Night, Hope, All My Love and She Loves You, Long Tall Sally. There's quite a couple of different versions. Don't get this one mixed up with the Beatles live at the Hollywood Bowl, which is basically this, but it has got a couple of extra tracks to it, which was for the they promoted that for the 8 Days a Week film, didn't they, a few years ago. With this one you do get the original inner as well, which is worth quite a bit of money on its own, that is. And that is intact. Usually they're ripped. Probably get more for that than what I paid for the record. So again, looks like it's hardly ever been played, if at all. Probably has, but very, very minimal wear. So that is side one. And then that is side two. Nice record. I have done a video on this, actually comparing it to the other one as well. So, you know, check that one out if you want a bit more information on this LP. It is worth having again, just to hear what the Beatles sounded like at the height of the fame in 1964 and 1965. There's a lot of screaming on it, but to be honest, it is quite enjoyable to listen to. I've always liked this album, to be honest. I just think the cover sort of like lets it down a little bit. That's the inside. And if you watch Rachel's Ghost, he goes on about this album, and when he first had this album he saw that, and he's actually managed to get one of them like tea tray things. Right, now we're going on to the singles. Like I say, basically I got these for nothing off Rob. I don't want that to sound big-headed, because every time I do go into Rob's records I spend a hell of a lot of money, and I do mean a hell of a lot of money. It's usually anywhere between £100 and £300 when I go in. So, you know, he makes his money out of me, and he goes way up and I go way happy, so that's all that matters, isn't it? Like I say, if you're ever in Nottingham, go and check him out. If you like Northern Soul and things like that as well, he's got a hell of a lot of knowledge of Northern Soul. The first one up is Helen Wheels, backed by Country Dreamer. But this is quite an unusual one, because I think this is a reissue from about 1975, because it's on Capitol. Although it's got the British numbers, it's on Capitol instead of, excuse me, Apple. Now these do need a clean, because I haven't had time to clean any of these yet. So it's R5993, which is exactly what it would have been on Apple, because originally this was from 1973, wasn't it? It just looks weird seeing it on a Capitol label, doesn't it, instead of Apple. And then B-side is Country Dreamer. Helen Wheels, one of the best Wing songs in a lot of ways, isn't it? We didn't get Helen Wheels on Band on the Run in the UK, by the way. In America, and I think in Canada, you got it, didn't you? On that album. We didn't. Don't know why. Next up is Lady Madonna, backed by the Inner Light. And it has got a KT tax code on it. Doesn't really make it worth any more, but you might even be able to see it, KT just there. This is from 1968. Again, a very, very overlooked single in the Beatles catalogue in a lot of ways. And this was the last single they released, well, recorded and released on Parlophone, because everything that came after this was on Apple, wasn't it? Inner Light, lovely George Harrison composition. Still got to number one in the UK though, didn't it? Lady Madonna, lying on the bed, listen to the music playing in your head. So that's 2. Then we've got John Lennon Plastic Ono Band, Give Peace a Chance, stroke Remember Love, Apple 13. Yeah, it's not the rarest John Lennon single to find, but it is quite rare to find it in the original picture sleeve. And this is actually in quite nice condition. It's got a little bit of a thing there where it's curled up. And this is on the dark green Apple label, so it's not like a later issue from the late 70s or early 80s. Give Peace a Chance, it's still credited to Lennon and McCartney on here. Later copies it changed to just John Lennon, didn't it? Apple 13 stroke R5. Yeah, Apple 13 stroke R5795. I've never noticed that on any of my other copies of this. So it's got both the Apple and the EMI parlophone number on it. And the B-side was Remember Love, which was written by Yoko Ono. And both these tracks was actually recorded in his Bedding for Peace in Canada, weren't they? All we are saying is give peace a chance. It's a strange song sometimes. I think it's the best thing John Lennon ever did in a lot of ways, because it's so simple of a song, and the message he really meant, didn't it, at the time? Yes, he was still having a laugh and a joke, but he did want world peace and everything. But then other times I think it's like a kid's song, bit like Yellow Submarine. Sometimes I think that's the best thing that Beatles ever did, because it's got so many hidden meanings and things like that, hasn't it? But then I think, well, it's just a novelty song. Next up, we've got Coming Up by Paul McCartney. Again, I've got a few versions of this. I wasn't actually going to get this at all, but then I looked at it and I thought, oh, it's on Columbia, where in the UK it would have been on Parlophone. So the A side it's Columbia 11263. So that is the A side. And then on the B side you've got Paul McCartney and Wings, Coming Up Live at Glasgow, and then Lunchbox Odd Socks. Again, these do need cleaning. They've got a little bit of dust on them. Again, if you live in America or Canada, it's probably not that rare, but to get something in the UK on labels that weren't commonly on is actually quite nice. Now we've got another Paul McCartney one. Most of these are Paul McCartney or Paul McCartney and Wings. So this is Hope and Deliverance, and I think this is a jukebox copy, but I'm not 100% sure. And on the B side it is Long Leather Coat. So it's R6330. But the reason I think it could be a jukebox is because it hasn't got a centre, and it's on a black injection moulded label. I hope you can see that. Hope and Deliverance. It's off the ground, wasn't it? I think that one of his better later recordings, I think. Just a couple more to go, so thank you very much for being patient and watching this far. Next up we've got Paul's debut single as a solo artist, Another Day from 1971. Northern Songs Limited, joint copyright interest claimed by McCartney Music, because it was down as being written by Paul and Linda McCartney, basically. So that's the A side. This is actually in quite a nice condition. And on the B side you got Oh Woman Oh Why, and that was just written by Paul McCartney apparently, which is a bit of a strange song because there's gunfire and all sorts in that, which when you think what happened to John Lennon many years later is a bit strange really, isn't it? Good song though, really good song. I think it got in the UK top 5, didn't it, when it was originally released. This one I hadn't got and I'd been looking for a long time, so I'm glad I've got it now. Bit of a controversial one when this came out. I think it got banned by the BBC. BBC was the British Broadcasting Corporation in the UK. It's still going now, but they used to like monitor everything, and if they thought something referenced drugs or sex or had a swear word in it or something they didn't deem as being suitable for people to listen to, they'd just ban it. So there we go. That's the A side. It's actually quite hard to find this one. And on the B side, it's just Give Ireland Back to the Irish version, Mccartney and Mccartney, produced by the Mccartneys. Northern Songs Limited, copyright also claimed by Kidney Punch Music, an Apple record manufactured in the UK in 1972. I mean, I've been after this record for years, to be honest, and that is the original sleeve that it came in, by the way. And like I say, I got it 10 days ago, whatever it is. Basically, I got it for nothing, so went on eBay. Was it yesterday morning? These I actually found one for £1.99. It was scratched, wanted in nice condition, and it didn't have the original sleeve. But then one very similar to this, they wanted something like £25 for. So I'm not quite sure what that is actually worth. Because it did Sea Moon High Into that got banned because the BBC thought it was about drugs. This was banned, I presume, because of the troubles that was going on in Ireland at the time. So he did Mary Had a Little Lamb, like saying, well, I'll, you know, basically do your nursery rhyme. And I think that got banned as well. So he did 3 singles in 1972 and didn't do an album, which is quite weird, really, isn't it? Then we've got a Beatles one, which is a German version of Please Mr. Postman. And then you've got Hold Me Tight. And I've got a couple of German Beatles singles, but I haven't got this one. Like I say, it's in like the only thing is sometimes they look better on my phone than what they do in real life. I mean, it has got some hairline marks on it, don't get me wrong, but on there it does actually look really, really nice. And it does play nice because I've actually played that one. So, and then to finish this little video off, we've got Junior's Farm. Again, I'm sure I've got copies of this, but my missus doesn't particularly like Paul McCartney. She doesn't not like him, but she thinks this is the best song Paul McCartney and Wings ever did. And to a certain extent, I would agree with her, because it's a great rocking sort of song, isn't it, Junior's Farm? Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go down to Junior's Farm, we're over and all. Brilliant song. Again, it's on Apple, so it's R5999. McCartney Music / ATV Music Limited. That's the A side. The B side was Sally G, which is a bit of like a country and western song, isn't it? So yeah, you know, for saying in the UK, Wings only have had one #1 single, and it was Mull of Kintyre. Which, okay, yeah, it's an okay song, but when you think of some of the singles what Wings did release, it's not the best one they ever did, was it? Well, not in my opinion, anyway. Some people might like. I mean, I quite like Mull of Kintyre, but it's a bit like what was on about earlier on in the 70s and 80s. When you listen to Radio 1, which was the biggest radio station in the UK at the time, because you didn't have streaming and stuff like that, if they ever played a Queen song, it was always Bohemian Rhapsody. The Beatles, it was always Hey Jude or Yesterday. Wings was always Mull of Kintyre. You know, so we sort of like got fed up of the songs, because there was like overplayed in a lot of ways. So I hope you've all enjoyed this little video. I'm sorry it's gone on a bit. I didn't think it was going to go on as long as this. So as always, thank you to everybody that's subscribing to my channel. If you're new to this channel, just come across it, do me a favour, if you've liked it, leave me a thumbs up, hit the subscription button and hit the notifications button, then you'll get notifications when I'm doing new videos. I do try and do at least one a week, just depending on my work patterns, shift patterns at work. As always, thank you to everybody that is subscribed and has been supporting me. You know, there is a lot of people that are supporting me, and like, when you start a YouTube channel, you sort of like think you're on your own and you go through it step by step sort of thing, but you do get a lot of encouragement off other people. Like I've said, you know, there's Beatletones Beatles channel, there's Beatleman69, there's Rachel's Ghost, there's Mean Mr Mayo, You know, there's loads of channels out there that do give you support and things like that. So thank you to everybody that is supporting me. If I've missed your channel out, by the way, sorry. You know, I will have to make a nice big list of everybody that keeps mentioning me on their channels and things like that. So as always, love your records, cherish your records. From time to time you will have to clean your records, which can be a bore. Like I did it, I think I cleaned records for over 4 hours solid yesterday. But they've all come up nice. But above all, play them, because that's what we have them for, isn't it? We buy records to play. Well, I do. Yeah, Helen Wheels. And give Ireland back to the Irish. And for saying all them there, basically, I got for nothing. So thank you. That's going to be it for today. There might be another video later on. I'm not 100% sure yet. Depends what Mrs. has got planned. So until the next time, it's Beatle Dave wishing you all peace, love and happiness. Stay safe, be nice to one another. So until the next time, it's ta-ra for now, me ducks.